Hello and welcome to another product highlights call here at upsun.com. So my name's Jack Creighton. For those of you who've seen previous episodes of this, you'll know that I'm in the product marketing team, joined as always by someone who's slightly more intelligent and slightly more handsomer than I am. In this case, it's Nicolas, who is a director of product here at Upsun.
Hello. Yes, thanks, Jack. So I'm Nicolas. I'm based in Montreal. I've been working at Upsun for a bit more than 4 years now, and I'm mainly working on what we call our core topics, which means basically our core functionalities, the core of our product. That's me and my team. So super excited to be here today with you.
Super excited to have you here. You're a very knowledgeable person. So yeah, I'm excited to talk about the latest and greatest thing that we're developing here at Upsun that has just come out is task containers. So Nico, give us a super quick definition of what a task container is, what it does, and why a customer should care.
Yeah, so it's like a brand new primitive on Upsun to run on-demand workload. So basically, up until now, we had like applications, services, workers. Now, task is a new type of container, which are ephemeral, basically. So you can use them to run like on-demand workload to execute a job, and then when it's done, the container just shuts down. So that's the main big advantage of this new type of container.
Yeah. And where did this idea of a task container come from? What sort of business needs or what customer needs were we looking to address there? Was it simply avoiding sort of having that running worker idle? Was it for migrations? What are the kind of most useful use cases you think a task container does?
Yeah, so that's something that we've been thinking about adding for quite some time because it can be seen a bit as like a serverless function where you basically call it and it runs something, and then when it's done, there's no idle resources. So we've been thinking about it for some time, but what really triggers us to actually go ahead and implement it is like the rise of AI agents,
Yes.
basically, because tasks is something ideal for running AI agents. Basically, you launch an agent, it does what it needs to do, and then just when it's done, you don't necessarily need to have a idle container running. So it's really an ideal type of container for running AI agents. But not only, you can basically use it for any types of short jobs, short or not so short, but any types of workload that are not that doesn't need like a container running 24/7, basically.
Yeah.
So it can be like an export of big data. It can be a migration of something. It can be any type of more ephemeral workload.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love the flexibility that it kind of works for both the AI agent side of things and, as you say, kind of like the more old school processes that don't really have anything to do with AI at all. So I love the approach. I love the flexibility of it. What would you say? So obviously there's been lots of talk about sandboxes and that kind of thing being delivered. What are the key kind of differentiators between this and a sandbox? So obviously at Upsun, we have sort of instant preview environments. So I'm assuming the task container will also have access to that kind of data, the code, all that kind of rich context the AI agent needs. Is that maybe the key difference between that and a sandbox, or are there others?
Yeah, I mean, for a sandbox, like the important features of a sandbox are more for like security, isolating your agent to not reach the internet or other files on your file system. So like really giving like an isolated container environment, execution environment for your agent. So that's basically something that you can do with a task, but not exactly by default. You need to add some configuration around it to make it a sandbox in a way, like restrict some outbound connection or restrict some firewall access, file system access, sorry. And that's all things that you can do already on Upsun. And the our security primitives of our containers are already at a very high level. But if you want to have a true sandbox, you have to add a bit of configuration on your task to make it run safely. But the big advantage of a task is that really it has access to all your services on Upsun. So you can create like a preview environment, run your tasks on this preview environment with access to production like data, since we clone the data byte for byte from your parent environment. And that makes tasks super powerful because usually an agent running in a sandbox is quite constrained. That's also the point. But if you add the preview environment as an environment sandbox, you can run agent in a closed environment, but still with access of a replication of your production services, which is very valuable for agents to have access to logs, seeing data, being able to just like loop and reach like a real working state, not just based on the code.
Yeah, no, it sounds incredibly powerful, and I've seen a few things like from the internal team. I've seen them demoed a few times, and it's like for me, for someone who's not very technical, even I can see the value in it. So, just kind of seeing how much of a game changer it can be with AI agents, I think it's going to be really, really good to see. And talking of demos, we were talking backstage or behind the scenes or before the call started, and you told me that you've got a live demo we're going to give a go, right, in this call?
Yes, I have
see if it works.
Yes, let's try. So I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Go for it. No pressure at
This
all.
is
We
like
know that live
let's see.
live demos never fail.
Hopefully this is work on the first shot. So it's basically like a quick demo project that I've been working on. So I have like an Upsun project here with like a front-end application and an admin backend, the back office, I would say. So this, what I was showing earlier, is the front-end application. So it's a basic like static website, nothing fancy here. And the admin application is, you can see it like as an LLM administration for your front end. So basically, you can just add a prompt to ask for a change on your front end application, and it will trigger a task and apply the change on the preview environment. So let me try one prompt. So let's do something simple. I already copy pasted it here. So I'm going to ask add a bold gradient background to the hero section. So like this hero section here. And let's hit run. And if I open my Upsun project here, you can see that it triggered a task here. I can see it here as well, running in my tasks. So what is happening right now is that we are creating a new container. In my application, I have I'm using Anthropic and calling Anthropic to clone the front end and apply the change, and then create a new pull request for it. So if I go back here, as you can see, I have now a new branch, and it's creating a preview environment as well. So the preview environment is for the pull request. So here on my admin, I can see here that now I have a pull request open here on my GitHub. So with some files changed, unable to load. I don't know why. Maybe it's still,
it wouldn't be a live demo if something didn't go slightly wrong. Just give it a couple of seconds.
I feel like that's GitHub having issues, not necessarily our fault here, but maybe GitHub having some issues. So let's see if the preview environment is still building. So as you can see here, the task was launched, and I think the task already done its job. The task itself finished running, and it created this new preview environment, which itself is still deploying now with the change that I asked in my backend here.
Yeah.
And let's see if GitHub works
I
better
believe it.
now.
I believe in GitHub. I trust it's fixed.
Well, GitHub still is struggling here. Well, anyway, I think the preview environment should still work. I hope it's still running. But in the meantime, something else that I can show is I actually added like another type of task here in this demo. So you can see this backend as a list of previous prompts made for upgrading your front end. So you can see this app almost as a bit of a mini Lovable or something like this, where you can just like pilot your front end with like an LLM backend with a simple application that you add on your Upsun project. And here I added also like an export button where it basically is exporting all your previous sessions with like the prompt, but also the output of the LLM. If you want to, I don't know, run evals or something like this, you can export this here. And what this does, it also triggers a task to process all the previous prompts and put it in a JSON export. So let's try it as well. So I launched the export, like we can see here it's running. If I go back here, we can see that now my export job is running here. Same, we can see that it's running here. This one should be fairly short because, as you can see, I don't have a lot of history here, so it's not a big export. And indeed, now the job ended, and I can now download a JSON from with all my previous sessions. So that's another type of use of a task, which doesn't imply AI in this case. It's just like to trigger an export, basically.
Yeah.
And
no, I love it.
let's see now if my preview environment is done. Yes, it's done. And open the front end. And as you can see, my background has been added with like a small gradient here. So it works. And if now I would like to just release on like deploy this to my production environment, I can just like merge my pull request if GitHub works. But I can just like merge the pull request, which is not possible today with GitHub, but theoretically you just merge and it would deploy this on your main production front end. So it's like a short demo where you can basically see two types of usage for task. One with agent as a mini LLM backend to apply changes to a static front end, and another task to export for an export job, basically.
Yeah. No, I love it. I mean, GitHub issues aside, at least that's one way like the audience knows that we're not that we're not fudging the we're not fudging the demos, we're not putting anything pre-recorded, like everything on our side worked. GitHub issues aside, I love how kind of simple and easy to use the flow is. Like even as I said, someone who's not very technical themselves, I think even I'd be able to jump in and do that kind of thing. And I think it speaks just to kind of the ease of use and the power of task containers and the tool. And speaking of kind of the power and ease of use, like we ourselves have been dog fooding, right? We've been developing our own AI agents that will be releasing fairly soon, using task containers as kind of like the infrastructure.
Exactly. Yes, we will have like a bunch of built-in agents that our users will be able to use on their project. The first one coming soon is the performance agent that you will be able to use to have a detailed reports and performance recommendations for your application. So indeed, you can trigger a report. It will run on the task container, and then it will give you like recommendations to optimize the performance of your apps.
Amazing. Yeah, no, we're really excited and really looking forward to getting those agents out into the world as well. So yeah, I think that covers pretty much everything. Thank you for your time, Nicola. As always, super knowledgeable, super Great demo, despite the issues. At least people know it was live and not pre-recorded, so that's one way of proving it. And yeah, if you want any more information around either task containers or Upsun in general, feel free to check out upsun.com. Take a look at all of the resources we've got there, technical documentation, blogs. We've got tons of stuff going out, and we go out daily. So yeah, thank you again for your time, Nico, and thanks for the demo.
Thank you, Jack. See you soon.